It is 7:02 on Tuesday, July 9th, 2024. This is the Town of Kingston, New Hampshire Historic District Commission meeting. I'm Susan Prescott, the chair.
Madeline Millette, member. Lori Swed, select board rep.
Susan D. Hart, alternate member.
Stanley Schillett, member.
Dan Doyle, member.
And we have Sarah, who is our recording secretary. All right, and Rob Trisolo is not here, and Virginia is not here. All right. First thing on the agenda is critical correspondence. I think that the letter that we sent out to all of the property owners in Historic District 1 and 2 was well received. I've had two or three phone calls since the last meeting about two people wanted to paint their houses. So I explained to them that we don't really dictate colors, although we're always happy to work with homeowners and come up with ideas if they want information. And I also kind of referred to this like a color booklet, at least at my paint store, of historic colors. So a couple of nice phone calls. One man that wants to, of Scotland Road, he is interested in replacing the tavern sign, the existing tavern. You know, there's a tavern sign on that property.
On the badger? Yeah, the one on the corner.
He wants to update that sign to sort of to make it look like the rest of the historic signs in town. So we're going to work on that one. Had a email conversation with First Congregational Church guys. They're still working on plans for the pavilion. Okay, and that was it for critical correspondence. So the next thing on the agenda is the approval of the June 11th minutes, which I emailed out to all of you guys. I have no corrections or comments except that very well done, thank you.
I didn't have anything.
Okay. Anyone else have anything to add to the minutes? Corrections? No? We'll
I make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
Okay, thank you, Madeline. Do we have a second? Second by Stanley. Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Nope. Okay, thank you, Sarah. We've got Sarah for one more meeting after this, right? And then she's off to school. So we'll make it good for you. It is exciting. All right, town board updates. Can we do a selectmen's update, please?
I was just looking through my notes to see what I wanted to talk about. I'll do a plug for solid waste and recycling. They're doing a bulky goods day on 20 July. So if you have mattresses, furniture, or stuff like that, they are charging its minimal fees, and they're trying to limit it to 3 items per household because we're not quite sure of the turnout. So 20 July. So for the Grace Daily Barn, the work is completed from the contractor, and at our last meeting we had a discussion regarding the volunteers and developing the scope of work that Phil, Ernie, and Dan will be working on to ensure that we understand and that there's no scope creep. The first thing, though, they need to do is test for lead paint, and I don't know if Phil has done that yet. And then, you know, depending on if there's lead paint or not, right, we'll go from there. So in the scope of work, they'll develop a schedule, and we need to provide this to Primex, our insurance company for the town, to ensure that they understand what we're going to do, and volunteers will be required to sign the volunteer form before they can work on the Grace Daily Barn. Building codes, Pedro briefed us. So the 2021 codes were enacted from the state July 1st, but there's kind of a 6-month grace period. So for anybody who's doing work, whether we're in a historic district or not, right, there's new building codes. So everybody needs to be aware of that.
And these are 2021?
2021. So I guess the state tries to, their goal is to be one cycle behind, because 2024s are being worked, so they just adopted 2020. When we were working off of 2018s, I think, and they just, yeah, so for 2021. And I believe that's it.
Thank you. We have no planning board rep this evening yet. Hopefully he'll show up. And I did not attend the Heritage Commission meeting, but I have their minutes, and it doesn't look like there's anything more to add pertaining to the HDC, to the historic districts. They did talk about that Grace Daily barn as well. And a little update on the people who are working to clean and reset headstones in the Plains Cemetery. That's ongoing. Seems to be going well. And I think that was it that pertained to us. Okay. All right. That's that. Excellent. All right. Application number 1. This is the 1 Chase Street application. Are you here for that? For the 1 Chase Street? No? Okay, all right, great. I didn't hear back from the property owner or the roofing company that basically she's a woman named Joyce has been the contact for the contractor. This is an application for a demolition of 2 chimneys. The application, the Historic District Commission application for the COA also has the roof, strip and install architectural shingles. That was determined that that's just regular maintenance activity, so we don't have to have any, they don't have to have a review on that, but the 2 chimneys was an issue. Yes, I'm getting to that, thank you, yes. Initially, we weren't informed that they were faux chimneys, so this is what they looked like. And you have these in your packet as well. I'm pretty sure I have all of these for you guys. And it turns out that those chimneys are were what they call false chimneys. So, and I guess it's a thing. They were apparently leaking and not well installed. And I had emailed you this picture of what they looked like when they were on the ground so that we would have an idea of what we're dealing with. So here's the issue. I mean, the chimneys are already gone. This is a request after the fact. Chimneys are gone, the roof is already shingled. They shingled it up. They finished the job because of inclement weather. So they're now asking for permission to demo those chimneys. So that's what we're discussing tonight, okay?
Aren't they just asking to not put the faux chimneys back? Right? Isn't that all that?
Oh, sorry.
Aren't they just asking to not put the faux chimneys back?
That is my understanding, to just get rid of the false chimneys and not replace them with new false chimneys.
Okay.
That is my understanding, yes.
Right, because they did not take the chimneys down. There's just faux chimneys there, and they're just asking to not put them back.
The building inspector looked at them and said that they seemed to be maybe done in the 70s. It might have been done, the historic district wasn't established until 72, so I don't know what the story is with when the actual chimneys came down and the faux chimneys, the false chimneys were put up. So, do we have any other questions about this?
They're gonna repair the roof after they take the chimneys down.
The chimneys are down, the roof is done. This
Okay.
picture, okay? The roof is finished with no chimneys, okay?
Oh, okay.
So it's already done.
Oh, I
It's already
just wondered
done,
where
this
they
is
were.
after the fact. One of the chimneys, Pedro told me that one of the chimneys was set down into the hole that used to have a chimney coming up to the roof, and the other one was just sitting on top of the roof itself. And there was water damage, happening, so. To be honest, I'm of two minds on this. I did some online research as far as what other historic districts have to say about this. One town said basically false chimneys are not allowed. So whether that means, you know, if you have a bad chimney, you have to rebuild it. It didn't really pertain to this because, you know, it also didn't say if you have a bad false chimney, you need to replace it with a false chimney. So here I have a pros and a cons list just from my own research. I also looked through the Secretary of the Interior's design or rehab, that whole 172-page thing. I couldn't find anything in there. The pros of having a false chimney or asking or requiring the homeowner to replace the chimneys. The chimneys add appeal to the home. They add symmetry to the exterior of the home. They are an important defining character of the home. The chimneys are, okay? The cons that I could come up with is that it's an added cost. It's added complexity to the project, and it's a potential long-term maintenance issue because from what I've read online, depending on what you're gonna, who you're believing, a lot of them leak. There was also the only one thing that I found in the Secretary of the Interior's, I think it was on that site, that it said a house without a chimney is not in keeping with the historic district of the neighborhood. However, now, just in my opinion, we're a historic district commission that allows solar panels, metal chimneys, vinyl siding, correct. So, I mean, we are, you know, we are very lenient and very cognizant of the fact that owning a historic property is very expensive. So we try to be good neighbors and not put a lot of unnecessary burdens on. But so that's just my opinion on this. I'm of two minds of this. So, do we have any other comments or?
Well, I was just going to point out that it has turned from a residence to a business. They are not using the chimneys, but they are documented, so should this turn into a residence again at a further date, they could always put up a chimney if they wanted to. Then, would it look better with a chimney? Yes, but I have a hard time making them put up a faux chimney. That's my 2 cents.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Susan.
I was just going to say, is it owner occupied?
I do not know the answer to that.
Because as I sit here, I think there's less incentive to put up the chimneys if it's not, because it's a business. It's apartment building. Just a comment.
It's actually a dentist.
It's
The dentist office.
Yes. When you live in a home, you have the pride, but it's a sticky wicket, this.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, this.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think from a practical perspective, we're doing an application after the fact. So what are we charging them? Just the cost of demolition?
Hold that thought.
Okay.
Somewhere they've already paid a fee, which is, yes, I think they paid the peak, hold on. 125? What's that for?
A remodeling of existing non-residential, maybe?
Yeah, I guess so.
And then, I don't know what the 25 is.
I was not involved in that, in the amount, so.
Or was there a,
100 and, it looks like demolition would be 50,
yeah,
so I don't know where the 125.
right.
What's your point?
Well, I mean, it would be, I think, not in our best interest to force, to tell them to put these back on the house, because that's, you know, a lot of money. Because they'd have to redo the roof, I mean, there's a lot. But is there, they're doing this after the fact, so we're slapping the hand, so is there a fine associated with that, or they're just paying an application fee?
Yeah, I have never heard of a fine situation.
Okay.
Okay. Even if it's I mean, we have had applications after the fact. People come and ask for permission or for, what is the forgiveness, right, exactly. And we're not a punitive board by any means, so I would say that's no, okay?
I would even say they may not have known. They're a new owner of this home, so they may not have known until they were re-roofing that, hey, this is fake.
Pretty sure that you would, during your home inspection, go up in the attic and notice that there's not a chimney going up through your roof.
Well, there was one. They're there. Yeah, one was sunken in.
It could be.
Yeah. They might have just knocked them off below the roof line.
That's very true. Didn't ask Pedro that. Okay.
Is Susan voting?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no,
No, okay.
sorry.
I mean, for all purposes, the front elevation looks fine without the chimneys on
Say
it.
that again, I'm sorry. I missed
This is, the front elevation of the house looks fine without the chimneys, in my opinion. It's nothing that's jumps out at you. I mean, if you were to drive by, you wouldn't say, hey, the house is missing chimneys, you know? I mean, I think it looks good, and seeing that they were false chimneys, you know, do we really want to put false chimneys back up there again? I mean, it is what it
It's
is.
a tough
and-
one for me, because like, say if they had knocked off the front porch, which is also a character of the house, you know, and knocked it off, and would we say, we want you to rebuild that?
What if it had been a real chimney?
Well, if it was a real chimney, then I would say that's a different story.
Right.
You'd ask them to rebuild it or
Right.
point it or whatever.
Yeah.
But seeing that they were false chimneys, you know, it was probably done before our existence anyways.
But according to Pedro, he thought that they were
Yeah.
probably done in the 70s.
I mean, my thought is what's done is done, and it looks fine from the road. It really does. I say you just let it go.
Would it look better with the chimneys? I think so.
Probably, but-
I struggle with making them do faux chimneys.
But, you know, your opinion may be different from someone else's opinion though, too, and that's where
Yep.
we have to step
Yep.
away. You know, what's the real practicality of this?
Right, that's what I think so too.
I think you'd have to go through the property list, because I remember that was a residence. Then the dentist moved in. He got it the inside. And I don't know if the chimneys were false back then, or were they false before the dentist moved in, made that a dental clinic?
Yeah, the false chimneys have been there for a long time, for a very long time. We're thinking maybe almost 50 years.
Can they still be false and make the place look okay?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Can they still be a false chimney and still make it look originally okay?
Yeah, I think so. I think that they could, yes.
But to put them back on, it would probably cost a fortune, I suppose.
That was back in the 70s, we think, and we don't, I don't know, I didn't even live in town at that point, so it could be any reason.
That's what it looks like now.
Do we have any more discussion on this?
So, do you want me to make a motion?
As a Historic District Commission, I'm not trying to sway anybody's idea, I'm just
Okay.
gonna say that as a Historic District Commission, we can require that they replace those false chimneys. That's an option, or we can approve the demo. So we can either approve this or not approve it. That's just depends on, you know. Well, it's not a matter of taste and it's not a matter of opinion, really. It's a matter of what our goal as a Historic District Commission is, and, you know, what our aims are. And that's, as I said before, that's all mixed up with, we don't want to be burdensome to homeowners. And,
Right.
you know, so this is a very sticky wicket.
It is terrible.
Yeah.
And seeing that they were false chimneys anyways, you know, if they were real chimneys, the circumstances would be a whole lot different.
I would think so.
I agree.
But seeing that
agree.
they were false chimneys anyways, you know,
Make the motion.
you're better at it. You're a good public
Good
speaker.
at that. Glenn used to always make the motions.
You make the motion and I will,
All right,
make notes.
so I make a motion that we allow demolition of the faux chimneys.
We're gonna call them false chimneys, because that's actually the
Fine,
term.
yes, false chimneys,
So approve the demolition of the false chimneys
yes.
And not replace them with,
and not require replacement.
right.
Okay. Do we have a second on that
I'll second that.
Seconded by Dan. Any more discussion? Nope. All those in favor? Are you, yes? Hand up, yes? I'm going to oppose. Susan, you're not voting. Okay, all right. So, no, yeah, I'm looking right at you thinking, well, all right. So, motion passes. And I will tell Virginia that they are going to be issued a certificate of approval for the demo of the false chimneys. Okay, thank you guys. That's a tough one.
That is really a tough one. Like I said, if they were real chimneys, the circumstances would be
Yes.
different.
Do I have to, he said, who approved the new codes, or do I just say?
I don't know. What would you
Yeah.
think? No? Okay. Yeah, we didn't do a roll call. No, that's fine.
So
I mean, it's on record on YouTube and stuff, but it doesn't matter, but no, that's fine. We do have a problem with roofing companies coming into town and not applying for building permits and the homeowners I don't know for what reason, not coming for approval or review from HDC. So this is a problem that we have in town with roofers.
It's a problem nationwide. It's just not in
Is it,
town.
yeah, nationwide?
Yeah.
Forward, they could get a fine.
Well, this, oddly, I'm just gonna tell on ourselves, but, so we've had solar installed twice, right? And, I had a very robust conversation with my husband on whose responsibility it was to come to the HDC. He's like, it's the contractor. I said, no, it's the homeowner. You're thinking of the permit for the town.
Yes.
So again, it's an education thing.
Right.
Where if you're contracting, I think oftentimes the homeowner, I'm paying for a permit, they pull the permit and they forget the whole HDC process. Right. So I think that might be part of it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not accepting the problems the known problems with the roofing companies, that's
Not even building a permit.
Exactly, right, that's a whole different thing, but just in general, you know, you tend to think that the contractor's gonna do it all,
Right.
yeah.
And a lot of people in our town, in my experience, we're DIYers. So,
Yep.
you know, like, I'm gonna build a fence, so I need to go and take care of the permitting.
Right.
Or the applications.
Right.
So,
But if it's a like roof, they don't have to come to us anyways.
if it's what?
If the roof that they're replacing is like roof,
Correct.
they don't have to come to us anyway.
Right,
But they
Right.
do have to get a building permit.
They gotta get a
still.
building
right, and they're,
And in that case, in that respect, the building inspector calls me and says, you know, this guy came in for a building permit for re-roofing, and so we will talk about it, and I might even talk with the homeowner, and you know, my preference to get it in at least email form, that the homeowner is saying they're gonna replace it in kind, you know, and not change any architectural details, gutters or anything like that. So, you know, that's kind of a trust thing. It's up to the building inspector to make sure that that's actually what they're doing, you know? But, so it works okay in those aspects. So, okay, let's get on to, if there's no more discussion on that, the next application is Paul Goodwin. He is not able to attend tonight. He is a representative for Chinberg Associates, and the application is for the demolition of what we call the science building. Okay? Many years ago, when we first started talking with Chinberg and Associates, we did, I don't know if they're called Chinberg Associates, anyway. I think it was, oh, you weren't even here, he's a select person either. I remember that the Heritage Commission and the chair of the HDC, myself, wrote letters to the Board of Selectmen stating, and mine did, stated that the science building was not historically, didn't contribute historically, because it's like, what, a 50s or 60s brick building, so.
We should have architecture, but this one is.
Right. So you have the application in front of you. I will read a little bit, let me think.
Now, let me ask you this.
Okay, go ahead. You need to talk a little louder, because I have trouble hearing you over the, okay.
Do I need to recuse myself from this one?
If you feel like you should, then you should. What would you say? Because he works for the school board,
Yeah.
school system.
And I still do maintenance on the property and, you know,
1, 2.
and I do have I do talk with Chimberg on a weekly basis, you know.
Yeah, then I think you probably should.
Yeah.
If it occurs to you that you should that you might need to recuse.
And we have enough here for a
We
quorum
do.
if I do.
We have a
so
quorum, yep.
I might just recuse myself out of
Yeah.
this one.
Don't push back from the table.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
Cool. All right, thanks, Dan. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, Susan. We need 4 people, right? Okay. Still with us, Stanley? You're gonna vote on this one. All right. So you have all of the paperwork, but this is this is the paragraph pertaining to the science building. It's the science building and the 2 technology buildings that are being proposed for demo. The science building must be demolished as it does not provide the economies of scale required for reuse and is not dimensionally conducive for reuse into apartment homes. The classrooms are too large for apartments, and the concrete structure isn't amenable to cost-effective alteration/demising. Similarly, replacement windows would need significant and costly modification for residential reuse. As a largely single-level building, it does not provide adequate scale to cover costs of rehabilitation for either commercial or residential use. Demo of the technology buildings is required to restore the historic vista of the seminary and to support project, site design objectives, and financial feasibility. Demolition of the science and technology buildings is proposed to be comprehensive with removal of the structures, including foundations. Demo scope will also include the abatement of hazardous materials in both science and technology buildings, as well as the seminary. Abatement work is required for demolition and reuse of the seminary. Okay, not demolition of the seminary. Demolition, comma, and reuse of the seminary. There is no cost-effective approach which would allow the project to proceed without demolishing the science and technology buildings and without hazardous material abatement in the seminary. No, it did not say that. No. It should be in there. Oh, her? I can give you, you can have one of these after we're done. Yeah.
So I know they talked about at the New Hampshire Preservation Alliance making compromises for these big buildings. You may have to give up something in order to protect something, and so this whole project was going to be get rid of the science buildings in order to protect the seminary. So I think that's a good compromise. That's the most historically significant building on the property that's left, the seminary.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You okay, Stanley? Oh, yeah, we might be getting some thunderstorms coming through. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Dan. Do we have any conversation or questions or anything about this application? Whoa, thank you. Wow. Thank you, Stanley. Not yet, but I will, if you would like. Sure. Yep, I will. You feel like there's anything missing from the application information?
I would also like to point out that this is to leave the seminary, the fencing around the seminary property, the archway that goes into the seminary property, and the keeping the driveways to the seminary on both sides, that viewpoint.
Archway.
Right, is that everything that they were leaving? And they're obviously leaving the gym.
And the gym, yeah.
Right.
That's included in the application. So we're only talking about the demolition of the science building and the two technology buildings.
And, right, for demolition, and then I think it said in there hazardous abatement in the seminary building itself.
Right, but that doesn't have to do with us.
Right.
Right. That's just part of that letter that he sent as a cover letter.
Right.
Because we don't do anything about hazardous material abatement.
Susan, are these two shed-type things, are they considered,
Those are the technology
those are the
buildings.
okay.
Yeah.
So those are, yeah.
Yeah, and those are closer to Church Street. Yep. Yep. Those are one right next to it. They're actually right next to each other. You can see in that one. Okay. And those are newer, and they don't add any historical value to our downtown area, in my opinion. Do you have any questions, Stanley? Are you okay?
Yeah, I think in the email, I saw that they're gonna put 70 apartments in that area?
Yeah. That's not what we're talking about here today, though. We're only talking about the demolition of the science building and the 2 technology buildings. Okay? That other building, the new building, will be on a different application. We're only discussing demolition.
Oh, okay.
Okay, just demolition.
Because I was just wondering what's gonna be put in its place.
Yes, an apartment building, yes.
But that's a different
still going through
discussion.
planning, and we have not had that application in front of us yet.
Okay,
Okay, we've had, years ago, we've had working conversations with Paul Goodwin, design, informational meetings, but we have not had an application for certificate of approval for the new apartment building. Okay, only design informational
Okay.
sessions we've had. Okay,
well, that makes it clear.
and it was years ago, believe it or not, so. If the board doesn't have any more questions or comments, I will open up for public. Yes, Mr. Woodworth? Oh, come on up and push a button, introduce yourself, tell us where you live, please.
For the record, my name is Brian Woodworth. I live at 174 Main Street in Kingston. I've been there since July of 1991. I'm a retired attorney. I worked as an attorney for 15 years here until recalled to active duty following September 11. Demolition is not, well, first notice. I didn't get notice of tonight's meeting. My well is within 1,000 feet of this project. I got no notice from you. I saw it by accident a couple of hours ago at the post office. That's why I'm here tonight.
Okay.
Tomorrow morning, I will send you a letter. I will ask for a copy of the notice that went out to the abutters and the list of the abutters. So no notice of the
Yeah,
meeting.
this was not
This is
noticed.
important. It's not adequate notice, posting it in the corner of the post office. Not adequate, not acceptable. You'll get a letter tomorrow,
Okay,
right? To the extent that notice did not go out, I will ask for your resignations and a contempt charge.
okay,
Demolition is not authorized. It's not authorized. It's in the contract that's in your file. I got my copy of the contract from you.
yeah.
First paragraph, it says he buys it as is with no warranties express or implied. He got what he got. That was the deal. He signed it. The school board's, actually the superintendent signed it. There was no warranties as to the condition of the building, and he knew it. That's the first paragraph. As a condition precedent, page 5 of 10, there's a whole list of them. Paragraph B, the buyer shall, no choice, the buyer shall repurpose the buildings on the premises. This is not a repurposing, this is not raw land. Shall repurpose the buildings. It's not repurposing, it's demolition. And if there's any ambiguity with that, paragraph 10, the buyer shall restore the property to its original condition in the event the buyer does not go forward. No doubt, demolition's not authorized. That's the deal. So who cares? $1.6 million was the assessed value at the time of sale. It didn't go on the market. It never was made publicly available for sale and public offer. It was just put on the warrant article. Not sure what happened. We'll have to have an inquiry about that. 1.6 million was the value. It sold for an IOU of 200,000, apparently unsecured. I'll look at the contract again. $200,000 for a $1.6 million property. Everybody understands when you buy a property like that, it's going to cost to renovate it. I understand it too, but that's the deal. You can repurpose the buildings. That was the deal. You do not have authority to ignore the contract that's in your file. You're part of the district, you're subject to its terms, it's a done deal. If he wants to rewrite this, and he's not here tonight apparently, goes back to the school board, rewrites the contract, and submits it to the voters for approval. I have nothing further to say. I'll say this in writing tomorrow. Do not get involved with this project. You approve nothing on this project. If there's a finding of criminality, don't get sucked into it. I'm going to ask for the State Attorney General to look into it. It was an unusual transaction. Very unusual. I don't like what I saw. And I'm not happy with it. I'll make sure there's no misunderstanding, Madam Chair. My intent is to put people in jail. Don't get involved with this.
Would you like to comment as well before we go back to the board business? Or are you just observing? Come on up, if you want to come up and comment, let us know who you are, where you live.
Jim Roach, I'm actually the one,
Oh, hi, Jim.
I'm the one that actually talked to you the other day.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I just want to come here, just find out, hopefully I can do the sign.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry.
Oh, talk about
Hold that
that?
thought, talking about the demo, just the demo of the science building, but you stay in that chair because I'd like to talk to you later, okay? Great, perfect. Nice, all right, do we have any other questions, comments?
Question about demolition, if we should have notified people. Do we need to notice for demolition? Is that something we should have done? I know we have notice, I know we noticed the meeting, but is that a specific one where we're supposed to notice every abutter? Does that fall into that
I've
code?
been told by anybody, not the building inspector, not the board of selectmen, that it needed to be noticed.
I believe that's up to the permit issue.
It's up to the
permit issue, we're not issuing permits.
right.
Just if we were doing the actual look of what he's proposing, then yes, we would notify abutters?
You know, we haven't even come to that bridge yet.
Yeah.
We can totally decide to table this discussion and notice the meeting for for August.
We could do that.
If you all agree, then I will take that step.
I think it's a big enough project that we could go ahead and do that.
Okay.
When is our next meeting?
August 13th.
Because they want to start the 15th, so that doesn't give us a whole lot of time. If it
Well,
gets
that will
pushed.
know, yeah.
If it
If it
gets
gets
pushed,
pushed.
if it gets
Yep.
pushed, it gets pushed.
Yep.
That's not my concern. I'd
Right.
rather,
You may have to call a meeting before.
Yep.
I think if we're gonna table it, we should hold another meeting prior to our regularly scheduled, once we get more information.
okay, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
And then notice the,
Also,
Or
how long
second.
does it take to notice?
oh, we have enough time.
Oh, we do, okay, good.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Yes? Stanley, you need to push your button. Sorry, start again.
I was just wondering, from what the first speaker has said, do we have authority to vote for this demolition, or does it have to be voted upon by a higher authority?
No, we have the authority to vote on it, to give a certificate of approval for demolition. Yes, we
Okay.
do. However, in the best interest of the public, I think we should. Unless anyone has any other ideas. No? Want to make a motion? Do we need to make a motion for that, please?
I make a motion that we table this application and notice abutters.
Okay. Public notice. So we'll have a public hearing?
Yes.
Okay. We're gonna make this into a public hearing in August, August 13th. Put it on your calendars, please. Okay. All in favor of that motion? Oh, do we have a second?
I thought, so we were gonna do it prior to, not on the normal,
We could.
not on the normal meeting.
Oh, I see. You want to do it an earlier meeting.
Well, we have time to do an earlier meeting, because it's just a month away.
I don't have that notebook with me. What are do you know what the parameters for doing a public meeting are?
You just have to, there's not a time frame,
I know Virginia.
Yeah.
Where's Glen Koppelman?
Right?
right? Exactly. There's not a time frame. We would want to give people as much notice. I would,
I think it's actually 10 business days.
Coming out from that.
10 business days from that, yeah. So we have a whole month before the next meeting, so.
For the next meeting, right.
You know, if we did it like the 30th of July, say, that's 3
We
weeks.
don't have to decide that right
Yeah,
now.
but that would be 3 weeks from today and 2 weeks prior to the next
Yeah.
scheduled meeting.
Yeah, okay. We can decide the date of the next meeting at the end of this meeting, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I'm still waiting for a second to table this application and bring it to a public meeting to be determined.
A second.
Second by Lori, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Right.
Okay, thank you. I will tell the people that that's what's gonna happen. Okay. Now, the next thing on our agenda is the review and update, oh, no, first I'm gonna skip to this fella first, okay? So we talked about, you bought 2 Scotland Road.
Yes.
correct? All right.
Yes. I live in 2 Scotland Road, and I'm not sure if you guys see the sign out in the front.
And say your name, and push your red button.
All right.
Say your name.
My name's Jim Roach. I'm just looking to take the sign that's there, and I want to put a historic sign that's like the one at the church or across the street. I have no problem paying for it, but I'm just looking if you guys would put me in the right direction of who can make it, and if I get some help of what it should say.
Right, what it should say.
So that's what I'm looking direction from this committee.
Okay, so what does your sign say right now? Just says.
It's kind of like a
Badger
stop
Tavern.
sign thing.
Yeah,
It's
sort of,
Badger
this,
Tavern,
on this
home-
site was,
yeah.
Okay,
I mean, I could probably find, you know, literature or something like that about the tavern or whatever, but I just think it'd look a little bit more aesthetically appealing coming into town.
okay.
Yeah, over at the library, they have a lot of information on the Badger Tavern.
Okay.
I'm sure they can give you the dates it was in operation, which might be a nice thing to put on the sign, you know, established at such and such date, whatever. Because that is a place where George Washington also visited on
Yeah.
November 3rd, 1789, so. So there is historical significance there too, so.
Yeah. So I think, like I said, it'd be kind of neat when people come down the street, because there's a couple already, so. That's what I like to do.
So, you said the library, do you mean the museum?
Yeah, the
All right, so
Nichols.
the historical museum.
Okay.
We all call it the library because it used to be the library.
Yeah.
So-
And they are there tomorrow morning, I think from 9 to noon on Wednesdays, so if you do have time in the morning, I would go over and introduce yourself.
Cool.
In fact, I might even be there, and they can give you some more information on the tavern. They'd be
Okay.
happy to help you out. As far as sign design, obviously they would have to fall under the guidelines of the town.
Yes,
And we would like to obviously see the sign as far as a sketch goes, or what would be on the
Well, I
sign.
mean, I just,
Yeah, as far as who's gonna make it for you, good
well,
luck
I
with that
wasn't sure
one.
if this, it's gonna be a sign company from what the state or something like that used. I just get pointed in the right direction. I found other ones, but I just wanna make it consistent with how the rest of the, the planes look. So I just wanna get a consistent sign.
Ernie Heritage Commission might have that information on what sign company they use, although I thought they used.
Yeah, because
I thought they used the
Virginia
high
also
school.
have those bronze signs made for the historic properties in town here too,
Yeah,
so.
and the historic district signs, those
Right.
were made.
Those were made by the high school.
Yeah, that was a long time ago,
Right.
so, all right, we'll hook you up. And I have your phone number, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay, so you do your research on that. On the town website is all the, how big a sign you can have.
Yeah.
There's sign guidelines
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna, like the one over there, pole, and,
Do you mean the
Nice
one
little-
across the street on your house? On
Oh,
the-
yeah.
yeah, someone's.
Yeah, that was put there by the state because it's a national landmark
Yeah.
home, so.
I mean, I was like to do something similar, that, like I said, I'll pay for it, just to, I've seen them all over Newton.
Yeah.
It seems like every street has a historic
Yeah,
sign.
and there's some private companies out there that will cast one for you, you know.
Okay,
I don't know any company names offhand, but if you just do a Google search or whatever, you can find something,
very cool.
so.
So that's what type of a sign? You're looking for a cast sign or
Yeah.
a wood sign?
I'd like to do a cast sign.
You wanna do a cast sign? Okay, all right.
Do you know the company that Virginia used when she did the signs here in town?
those were
Virginia might have
brass.
a,
Those
Virginia
were
Morse might have a contact of the company she used when she did those signs.
for the little brass ones, right, at the.
Yeah, there was the bigger ones that like they put in front of Nichols Library.
Those were for the buildings that are on the National Historic
Right.
Register, right?
Right, but she might have a contact over there where they can make something custom for you,
That'd be great.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah, about a month and a half, 2 months ago. Thanks.
Yeah.
We love it. I mean, we only moved from Kensington, but it was something a little different. I love it, being able to walk around town. The only thing stunk about the fair, I got fried dough 2 days in a row, so. It was too convenient.
It's an interesting shaped lot,
Yeah, very interesting.
yeah.
yeah.
Can't wait to put my metal detector out there.
A lot of people have done that already. In fact, when they were building your house, they were out there doing
really?
it, so, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
All right, we'll hook you up, okay?
great.
I will. All right, hold on one second, yeah.
do you have a contact information you want to leave us, or an email?
Oh, she's got all that.
You got
I
it,
have-
okay, all
I
right,
have his phone number,
awesome.
okay. The woman that I told you I was gonna get you in touch with is not here tonight. So, okay, but I have another note to myself. All right, perfect, good to meet our neighbors. All right, for number 3, this was a long time ago, right?
Done with everything?
Actually, I was gonna ask if we could table that, because Virginia had so many things to comment on, and I don't know what they were. That was like her thing, that whole application thing.
Keep tabling it.
I know.
That's fine.
Keep tabling it since last fall. If you want to table that. Want to continue to work on it, or do you want to just kick the can another month?
We'll just kick it, because I don't want to spin my wheels on something that,
Yeah.
you know, it's almost, we're starting over, which is fine too. Yeah, oh, yeah. No, it's probably because was that better? No, I can hear it too. It's going, yeah. Yeah, well, no, we'll just wait, it's fine.
I have to write something down for myself here, hang on a second. I thought it was just in my head. Okay. And that was going to include discussion on the fee schedule, because we've all been talking about that as well. I do have the updated, fee schedule for the town. That did it, whatever you did. Oh, all right, good. So, all right, I'm okay with postponing that discussion again as well. All right, so that leads us to, public comment we've already had. Trying to figure out when the next meeting's gonna be.
I have one thing in the middle, while you're looking.
You have what?
I have one thing.
You have one thing, other business, they may become
Yes.
legally, all right.
Yes.
What's that?
All right, so I just wanted to say that Robin Carter has done a wonderful job. She took all of our ordinances for the historic district and all the new regulations, and she's got them online. And she's just gotten back from vacation, and she's gonna get us copies and to the selectmen and the zoning board, planning board, building inspector. And so she did a great job. So that's all good. But there was one thing, of course, there's always one little hitch. The website for the town, when the planning board, if you go on to get an application at the planning board, it will say for the ordinances, click here, but it just takes you to the entire ordinance book. So for the historic district, we say, if you are looking for the regulations, click here, and it takes us to the regulations, but it's a separate copy. It doesn't take you to the real ordinance book. And so the last time it was updated was 2009.
Yeah, she told me about this.
So we could either change our directive arrow in that website pointer to go right to the ordinance book like it does for the planning board and let them figure it out, or we could just have them do what they've been doing, which I think they're just putting a copy to the PDF of the new one, but that means that every time we change something, we have to say, hey, make this change and put it on the website. I kind of think we should have it go directly to the regulations, because that's the whole point of it. So that would be my 2 cents, I just wanted to make sure you guys thought so too.
So we are updating the website. We're getting a new one, actually, so I don't know what the functionality is. So I will check with Susan and make sure that she communicates that to them, that when we're pointing, you know, because it's all about where the repository is and how you're linking your documents, right?
It's a programming issue.
It is, and I don't, the current platform is free.
Oh,
What we're using is free.
good.
So just keep that in mind when we're talking about the website. But we're going to a paid version.
Okay.
So there's more functionality. If you've ever been on Exeter's website, that's what we're going to.
Okay. It's a good website.
It's a good, then it's the same company, and we said we want it to look like Exeter's. Okay. So they're working on that. So I'll make sure Susan has that feedback, that it can open up like a book. Right, and
Like
that it's
chapters.
indexed and all of that, instead of you're looking at a PDF copy.
So I think what the issue is, if there was a title to say like section 102, title, you could then go to that, but right now it's just 102, the next one and the next one. If there was just that little title for each one, it would point to that and bring you to that page. It's a programming thing, but in the meantime, who updates that? Is it Connie?
Caitlin,
Caitlin?
I think.
Okay.
Caitlin.
It would either be Caitlin or Susan for that part.
Okay.
So there's a lot of hands in the website.
Okay.
Um,
Whoever updates the HDC now.
well, it might be Robin.
She doesn't.
She doesn't. Then it would either be Susan or Caitlin.
Okay.
So I'll send her an email.
Oh, good, okay.
And ask her, and I'll just come down tomorrow too and ask her, kind of go through it, and then, because I don't know when the new website's gonna be launched.
Yeah, it could be a while, that should be in there.
Yeah.
Also, the,
Because the planning board was having the same issue.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
also, if you could ask for the members to be updated. I think they added you and took everyone else off. You're doing the job of 100 men.
That's
I go on there all the time and I don't even notice these things. I was on there today. I like meetings where we give Lori all the action. I took notes here. Okay, if there's nothing else, then let's figure out the next meeting then, for the public meeting. We'll just do it. It is, I'm dying here. All right. Oh.
I'm just floating this because I heard it has a date. If you want to record it, I'm not available on the 30th. I apologize.
On the what, on the 3rd?
The 30th.
30th, okay, thank you.
Sorry, just wanted to let you know that.
And it should be recorded, yes.
I'm sorry, August 13th.
Correct.
And just so you know, I will not be here for that meeting.
Okay, all right.
I'll be in Colorado. visiting family.
We can't have it on a day that the planning board is in here either.
No, geez, you're right.
Yep, so we can't take their room from them.
When do they meet?
They meet the first,
And
third.
Tuesdays.
So that's the 23rd, right? No.
No, 6 and 20 of the month.
Oh,
the
wait,
first
oh,
month.
I'm looking at July.
So, yeah, so August for us, our scheduled meeting is the August 13th.
As far as a special meeting, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, so special would be, you can't do the 6th, you can't do the 20th.
There's other entities involved here,
Yeah,
so we would have to consult with them first before we pick a date.
Yep.
well, how do we do that? Because the next meeting is the 13th, if they're, well,
How about if I
would it
just-
not work the 13th? Why could we not have it on the 13th?
Well,
If they're looking for the 15th and everything goes well,
and
that should be fine.
if it
But if it doesn't,
if it doesn't go well, right.
then that will delay.
So then let's just keep it the 13th, because there's some coordination and some notifications that need to occur.
I am perfectly willing to do it in July, the end of July, if it works out. I can ask people. My August is very, very busy, so the only other time I could do it would be maybe the 30th.
Oh, does it have to be on a Tuesday?
No.
No, it can be on a different day of the week. It can be the 31st.
Yeah.
Shake it up, that's a
Yeah.
Wednesday.
You could do it Saturday morning if you want.
We could do it Saturday morning, right, we could do it anytime.
All right. I will send you all an email and propose a couple of different dates, and we will work on it. But let's shoot for the last week in July.
That sounds great, yep.
All right, all right. And it won't be the 30th. That's a no for Adam. All right.
For the record, I'm sorry, the 31st is also not good.
Oh, Adam!
I'm sorry!
All right. Okay. If we plan it really well, we can do a meeting at the beginning of August and not do the 13th. Oh, yeah. Give us a day off, all right? All right. I will send you an email. I'll send you out tonight. Okay. Yes, right. We have to talk about, we have to do it in the fees, all right. I don't have anything else for this meeting. Sarah, you all set with your notes? Good? All right. I declare the meeting adjourned at 8:05 p.m.